Spinning beats ball of death. All right. Hey, good afternoon, fucking evening, whatever the fuck Friday night it is. I'm Tripp. This is
Heather.
fellow indie author, personal friend of mine, and professional shit talker, Heather Carson. How you doing tonight?
Professional shit talker. No, yeah.
Oh, you are now. You've been labeled.
I need to be.
So anyway, but before we went live, we were talking about karaoke bars. What do you have any funny karaoke bar stories though?
No, because I've never really gone to one. But so we started, like I said, we were doing it on live the other night. I got my husband drunk enough that he would do karaoke with me, which was really fun because he's super like a shy person. But all of a sudden, a couple of drinks in him on live, people were joining in. He's like, "Hold on, my fans want to talk to me." I'm like, "Okay." He's pushing me out of the way. I'm like, "All right, babe, you got it."
So you went like full diva, like 10 minutes into it.
He did.
Nice.
But we had some friends over the other night, and they all wanted to do karaoke live, and one of them was an opera singer, so that got really interesting.
How'd that go?
Opera, yeah.
So you can't like recreate it for us?
Oh God, no.
No. Now I remember once me and my buddy Jude, we went and spent the weekend in Los Angeles, and we were bouncing around, going bar to bar Friday night, and somehow the sun was still up, but we somehow ended up in Little Tokyo, and we heard karaoke somewhere. Like, we're gonna find this, because it's not like out, on the streets. It's kind of like internal, so like just like sidewalks and shit. So like we know it's here somewhere, and we're also like, hey, listen, everybody here is Japanese. Let's go in there and sing I'm Turning Japanese, and then sing Godzilla just to fuck with these people, right? So we go in, and then like some dude's wrapping up the song, and then we put our names in, and the next person that comes up, this like 60-year-old hunched over Japanese woman, and she just starts nailing Godzilla, and we're like, wait a minute, what? We were gonna do this to be like asshole white guys, like what the fuck? She's like, oh no, they say she's got to go. And we're like, God damn it. All right. And then the next person that came up did Turning Japanese, and we're like, why the fuck did we even fucking come here? Fuck it, give me some sake. Bring me the Ichiban.
You guys should just jumped up and did some like hardcore Hank Williams or something.
Oh God, yeah, right. Hold on, let me edit this real quick. Yeah, so fucking what we were also talking about was what books. So was it, you got Project Dandelion, which I've read 2 out of the 3, and I've got the next series, but you like to break your stuff up small.
What I do is give episodic type material to people who are used to like Netflix and stuff like that. Everybody loves episodes. Like that's what
yeah.
And there are novel criteria. A novel has to be 40,000 words. I at least hit 40,000 words each time.
Is that what it is? Is there an official, like, it has to be this thick for it?
Manuscripts. So typically a manuscript is about 55,000 to 105,000 words, but considered a novel, it has to be above 40,000 words. So I hit 40,000 words.
Is there something above that though? Like if it's like 500,000 words long, is it still a novel? Is it just like keeps on going forever? Or is there like a cap to that when it becomes like a dictionary?
Epic, I think, like an epic novel or something, but it's not like, it's basically anything over. But so traditional publishers, like the assholes that we don't talk to,
they fucking suck,
right? No, but they go 1,000 and 120,000. So anything over that, they'll usually cut out a lot of stuff.
Yeah, or like make it a sequel.
Yeah, or make it a sequel.
Yeah.
Basically, I already have the sequel in mind when I start to write. Like I already have a trilogy in mind. It's just I break it up into smaller portions so that way I make more money. That's not good.
Yeah. Don't say that. I mean, that say that for the DMs, but yeah. So what is? Hold on. What is this next trilogy called? Like I only have the spines.
It's a haunting dystopian tale.
Mm-hmm.
Series, but each one has its own thing. And then the first book is the oh my god, I'm gonna slaughter it. It's in Latin. The no tree. There we go. Yeah, it's so funny because I just got a comment or a review. Oh my god, I've been getting some reviews lately. But anyway, I got a review the other day, and she's like, "It's the most beautiful title I've ever heard. It means do no harm." I was like, "No, it's like Paris or Paris no Shuri." means do no harm. Like no Shri just means harm, like flat out evil. But
this book's here to fuck you. It was like the Necronomicon from fucking The Evil Dead. You know, like read 3 pages of it. You know, Sumerian demons come up, your girlfriend turns into a hell beast, and then you gotta hack her up with a chainsaw.
oh, this is a little intense.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, those. Yeah, it's very different. The only problem is like I couldn't even classify a genre with it. Like I'm like it's a dystopian tale, but it's also like magical realism and like sci-fi and like all these different things. I don't know.
Oh, well, see, now I'm even more excited to read it because I also have that problem where it's like, have fun putting my books in one genre.
Right? No, you can't. Like I tried. I'm like, okay, so this is like military books and like military science fiction, space opera, maybe real life, like a memoir. Like I don't even know like what we call it.
Yeah, there's also a lot of paranormal activity and half of it's porn. Like, what the fuck's going on there?
Yeah, those are some parts there, Tripp.
yeah. Happens. Yeah, no, but going back to talking about how I guess the actual publishing community is for lack of better words, the fucking worst. I had a buddy who ghost written a couple of New York Times bestsellers, but his names aren't on them because, you know, it's an Army Ranger wrote one of the books and a Navy SEAL wrote one of the books. You know, I mean, he still got paid, so he doesn't give a shit. But he put me in contact with a couple literary agents and like kind of like, you know, 3-way email thing going on. And in each one, I was like, hey, listen, I am not trying to pitch my book to you. I am straight up asking for advice or information or whatever. Like, this is what I got going on. I'm going to tell you what's happening in them. But what I'm really contacting you about is I want to know what I need to do before I contact somebody like you.
Mm-hmm.
Never hear the fuck back from him, right? A couple months later, and by a couple, I mean like 6 months later, you know, I'm like, you know what, fuck, I'm going to go stalk this guy real quick. So go to his fucking Twitter, and like one of his tweets is like, oh yeah, some dude pitched this book to me today. Pretty much, here's the plot of all my shit. Pass. I'm like, okay, first off, dude, fuck you. Secondly, I wasn't asking you to buy my shit. I was asking you what I would need to do before I talk to somebody like you. Apparently,
you don't have common courtesy or any decency as a human being to just be nice. Like, fuck you, man.
Yeah, or even like reply back, just like, hey, sorry, man, not for me. And it's like, dude, like, is this the way you turn everybody down? Like, you don't tell them, you just like
just Twitter it, like, because I'm so cool with my freaking like Honda Accord, my sunglasses, and
yeah. And like one thing would I guess make a little more sense to me if you had more than 200 followers on Twitter. It's like,
so it's just an asshole, like a legit asshole.
Yeah, it's like, who the fuck's following you anyway? Like, nobody. Half of these people are fucking bots, probably.
Dude, so I have this theory on freaking dudes that are like that, like the total douchey douche dudes.
Yeah.
Feel like all guys need to go through some kind of initiation when they're like from 18 to 25, like whether it be the military or fraternity or something where they get the shit kicked out of them. Like they're not become these douchebags with like tribal tattoos, like walking around denying people and acting like they're cool. I'm sorry.
Do people still get tribal tattoos? Like, I know it was barbed wire for a minute, but I haven't seen any in a while.
Maybe not.
Like, is that officially transformed into like the outline of trees on your forearm?
Or the triangle. Don't forget the triangle.
Yeah.
Minimalist tattoos. I think that's what they're called. I'm in a lot of writing groups and stuff, and one of the writers had said, or somebody had made a post saying that they basically were told from somebody else, like you need to try traditional publishing or something like that. And then he's like, well, you know, I really want to go indie. I want to try it. I want it to be in my own control. And they were, whoever it was super negative about it. And he's like, does anybody else go through this? I was like, all the time. I've actually been told like, you're not a real author. And I'm like, and literally, I'm like, when I hear something like that, I'm like, I get paid for my books. Like, so I'm an author, first of all, and I'm not gonna set a manuscript in a fucking drawer somewhere where it gets mothballs while I wait 10 years for some corporation to decide if my art is like important or worth it. Like my customers do that. Like my readers do that. They'll tell me if it's bad. Like it's okay. I'll move on from that. But like, I don't know, like indie, but that's the thing with indie and me is I never even tried traditional. I'm like, I just wanted to do this from the get go. I love control. I'm
Yeah.
every aspect of my art, but
Yeah, no, I tried pitching it traditionally for about a year.
did you?
Yeah, dude, I did it. I want to say the quote unquote right way, where like I subscribed to like Reader's Market or whatever, and then like found all these literary agents that would be in the right field, and then like I did like one every like 2 or 3 days. Which what I would do is I'd pick one, go read all their fucking blogs, fucking like read up on everything they fucking done, and then like tailor my letter specifically to them. I got 2 fucking responses. One was a not for me, and the other one was like, okay, let me read it. And they're like, okay, this is cool, but let's change the aliens to vampires, and then make the war in Iraq something else. I'm like, that changes the entire fucking book, you dumb fuck.
There's like six of them. Like it needs. Oh my goodness, no.
Yeah.
Ugh. And the worst part about it too is like I don't think a lot of, I don't know, I might be a little bit of a like cynic here with the whole publishing industry, but like I think a lot of writers think like they're going to get like super rich and famous off this one book when it gets published. The reality of the fact is like you get one book published, yeah, you might get a royalty check for 1 year or something, or books, and the publishing industry moves fast, so books die out after. They don't push them anymore after that. So it's like you got 1 year of fame and then it's kind of just done, and then you don't really unless it was so great that they wanted a sequel or something like that, like they won't contract you for like the next couple of books. So like in my mind I'm like, why would I do that? Like why would I even invest in something that's like I'm going to spend all this time for one shot at something, and then I'm like, no, I'm just going to build a steady small business up and then we'll just keep going. What the hell? I'm sorry.
What?
Just got this really weird email.
Oh yeah, no. And then the other thing with it though is like nowadays, the author has to do most of the marketing themselves. They have to be on social media. They have to like get themselves on shows and broadcasts, all that fucking shit. And it's like, well, if I have to do all this footwork anyway, why would I?
Out of my income?
Yeah, like why would I let you fucking keep all this shit? Because like a lot of them. Like you wouldn't even get a royalty check. Like when they buy your manuscript, they're like, "Hey, here's 40 grand. Have fun, kid."
Yeah.
Which hey, a 40 grand check is fucking cool, but
that money runs like eventually.
Yeah, and then it's especially if you're stupid and sell them your film rights too, and they decide, "Hey, we're gonna make a movie out of this," and it's like, "Yeah, you get to watch it when it gets to the theaters, bitch. Have fun."
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'd like to be in control of it all.
Yeah, and then like the other thing though about indie authors not being real authors is I guess you could make that argument if you want to be a gatekeeping elitist, but The Martian was originally an indie book. So was 50 Shades of Grey, and I hope they serve beer in hell. And it's like those books are all massively successful now, all have movies, and those people still have 100% control of all their shit because they held on to it until they made it.
Yeah, they made it. I didn't know if I hope they serve beer in hell is
so I mean it is and it isn't. Like I think it was like early days of Amazon, like you could get it, but like it was only up for a little bit before they snatched it down because that dude had that whole book on his website, like pretty much in that order, except for it was like blog posts, but here's chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, blog post 1, 2, 3, and then so like a lot of people that bought the book were people that had read it for free anyway beforehand.
Yeah. I don't know. It was funny because, we were talking about like bad books or the worst books. I spent all day trying to think of the worst books I'd ever read. And I'm bad. I actually give people a lot of leniency. Like, I'm like, you know what? It's your own brain. Everybody's brain works differently. I could be okay. But the only one I could think of was 50 Shades. And I'm like, but I still read the entire series. Happened. So I'm like, I can't think of any.
So either it's not bad or just jokes on you. They're marketing experts.
Well, because the thing was, I knew it was bad, but I was so invested into figuring out what the hell happens to this bad, awful story. Like, I just got literally, was it last night? I got a very fun review too. What was it? Oh, apparently the Notary. God, I gotta learn how to say that right.
Notary.
Notra? It's got a CH, but anyway, so I read, or somebody's commented. One of the reviews on Goodreads said that it reads like a bad science fiction script, but it was so fun that they kept reading it. And I was like, I've never even read a bad science fiction script. So like,
well, I mean, how many stars did they give you on it though?
4, but
fuck it, that's still good.
I don't know. We were talking about this today because I was like, I get a lot, or not a lot. My bad reviews are 3-star reviews, and they're always didn't like this. You did something wrong, but I'm gonna read the next one. And I'm like, well, why did you like what? You're still buying the book, but you're leaving like I didn't like it reviews. Like
it's like leaving a bad Yelp review at Taco Bell. It's like, I'm coming back tomorrow, but the manager pissed me off today.
I gotta stop reading reviews.
Oh.
Go through the like 5 cycles of grief with them. Like he'll come out. I'm like, why would they say this? And he's like, when are you gonna get angry so I can come back? And then he comes back a couple minutes later. I'm like, fucking bitch.
I don't know. I think I've been lucky with reviews because, like, for an indie author, I think I've done pretty good with them. That and like for whatever reason, I don't know if you've gone to Amazon and looked at the reviews of my books. These people write fucking novels in there, and it's like, I wish I put that in the fucking book, dude. Like one of the first ones that I got was like, not buying this book is basically burning the American flag, and it's like, what? How did you come up with that? I'm supposed to be the writer here. You're just going to go, it's good. Here's how many stars, you know?
I get that a lot too. Like people like, or they'll do a synopsis of the book, but like their own interpretation is so much deeper than like certain parts, like go really in deep on certain parts. Oh my goodness! Like I'm like, who should read a book? What's going on here? But
yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, no, friggin', they're insane. And then like one of the other things that I kind of really hate though is like when I'm reading a book that like either I hate and I go on Amazon and like it's just got like glorious reviews. I'm like, why? What did you fucker see in this? Or when I read a book I really like and I go there and it's got all bad reviews, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Oh, so blowing my mind, by the way. Damn it, what is his name?
Who?
Are we live? I can hear my.
Yeah, you're going out.
Let me try to move somewhere else. We're just gonna kind of keep following the signal.
Okay? Son of the utmost bitch.
That's all right. We're going up. We're good.
Yeah, we're going up. We're gonna fix this.
Adapt and overcome, right? Okay.
Say what? Yeah.
Okay. So the guy who wrote Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Gary Wolf.
Yeah.
All right. So he actually wrote a dystopian novel called Generation Removed. And I'm like, I'd heard about it. People had been talking about it. So I was like, well, let me check this out. Because it's basically like a dystopian based on like a geriatric population. So like the youth runs the world, but at 60 you get like euthanized and you have to retire. But then there's this whole like old person army that goes. It's really cool.
So kind of like Logan's Run.
What is Logan's Run?
It was this movie from the 50s, 60s, I think. And pretty much what it was, you know, 1,000 years after World War III, you couldn't walk on the surface of the earth. Everybody lived in like one city. And then at the age of 60, you know, they threw you in an incinerator.
Yeah, kind of like that. But anyway, so this guy's like super famous. Like I said, he created like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He's got a whole spinoff on novels on that, you know, like the cartoon, everything. This freaking dystopian novel, that's probably like the genius of his work, has 2 reviews on Amazon.
What?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Right? And I'm like, okay, hold on. Like you have like fame and publicity and all this stuff and 2 reviews. Like, so I like him better now.
Did you go and stalk the Who Framed Roger Rabbit one after that?
No, I didn't. I should have.
Have you ever read Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I read the first chapter on the free thing.
Completely fucking different. So turns out that cartoons can do a thing where they like kind of make a doppelganger or like a clone of themselves, and that clone dies like in 24 hours, like at max. Okay. And at the beginning of the book, Roger Rabbit dies, and in his like doppelganger thing is the one that like is solving his murder.
Oh, yeah, it's totally different from the movie.
Yeah, although the movie was fucking amazing though. Like I remember watching that growing up. I'm like, why aren't more cartoons in movies? And then I saw what is it, Cool World with Brad Pitt? And I was like, oh, yep, okay, all right, yeah, we don't need to make these.
Are you on your computer right now?
Yes.
Tim is asking me if the live event's over. I knew this was going to happen because I said it was going to go live on Facebook and stuff. So everybody's trying to figure out how to get onto it, I guess.
Oh, yeah. If they go to Tripp's Smokepit, like there's a Facebook page, and then, YouTube page, same name, should be there.
Okay.
Or if they go to the link in my bio, they're all up there.
Don't worry about it.
All right. We're done somewhere. Or, if they wait 2 or 3 days, they'll just be a fucking podcast they can listen to.
There we go. It's not live though. You can't throw questions there. Is anybody like even joining, by the way?
No, actually, I'm kind of concerned. I should probably.
It's my face. You put that awful picture.
What?
Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm live now on my YouTube page, which is just Tripp, Tripp, and then Facebook. Take forever to fucking load. Yep, live over there too. So.
Yeah, I think everybody was waiting for it to go on Instagram or something.
Oh, yeah, dude. Instagram has been being a giant bitch the last couple months because I used to be like live like all fucking weekend. And then like more recently, it's been like, okay, well, if I'm playing guitar, it's cool. But then as soon as I get somebody else on, it's going to drop out after fucking 5 minutes.
It's because everybody just wants to listen to you play, man.
Well, no. I mean, like the actual like, it'll start freezing up and you can't hear anything, and then it'll boot people off and shit.
I wonder if it's the connection with somebody else is what the problem is.
I mean, it could be, but like it's been doing that with everybody. So I don't fucking know what's up.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you can't see shit. All right, we'll turn this way. You said nobody was on anyway, though, right? We're good. Yeah,
we're good. Why does your mom not know you smoke?
No, it was all dark and I was trying to turn towards the light.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, we're good with that. So, how far are you into the last book, or that you're writing?
So right now I'm working on book 8, and I want to say, like, I've got the whole thing pretty much canvassed out. I'm just sitting down and like, writing it. And I want to say I'm somewhere between a quarter and a halfway with this, like with the first draft of that. The 7th book is done, not done, but like,
right.
Like I'm gonna need to like read it again one more time and like fucking make sure a few more things like line up and I'm okay with addiction before I send it off to people to be like, hey, does this look good? Here's a red pen. Thanks, buddy. And then I know exactly what I'm doing for 8. So once I get, with 9. So once I get done with book 8, the next one should come pretty quickly, depending on, how the semester goes. Cause like I could have had 7, I could have had 8 done. The one I'm working on now done probably a month ago if I wasn't in this summer class I was in, which it was interesting, but at the same time, like the dude did not believe in tests. So we were writing about 30 pages worth of response papers a week. So
that's the one where we discussed power plants and the pyramids?
Oh yeah. The pyramid was actually, a giant power plant that, shook with the resonance and or of the Earth's frequencies and harnessed the Earth's energy. And then oh
my god, what book did I just read? Hold on, I just read a book. I literally just finished it like 2 days ago and I can't remember the name. It was like oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to like
all the small things.
No. What was it called? It was like All Along the Way or All the Wrong Ways or something like that. But it was hey Fletch. Anyway, so but the book is based on like they harness power from the Earth's rotation, and I was thinking about that like with the pyramids and stuff like that, like the vibrations or whatever. But it was like the Earth's rotation harnessing power from that. I was like, that's actually a really cool idea. Like that could work.
Well, I mean, because like the core of the Earth is spinning, all that liquid magma and stuff. That's one of the things that makes the planet be alive.
Yeah.
So I mean, there probably is a way to harness into that. I don't know if the Egyptians did it, and I don't know if we'll ever be able to actually get that done, but theoretically it should be possible.
Want to hear my like outlandish theory?
Yeah.
All right. So Mars was populated millions of years ago with a superhuman race. Obviously, they advanced and did everything. They came back to Earth and gave like the very early they were the aliens that came back, and they gave maybe the Egyptians some kind of power to harness the energy from the planet. And then Mars blew up their own planet because they were stupid. So their entire planet disintegrated. And Earth was super gaseous at the time. Just like Venus. Maybe not as like Venus. This was way back in the day. I don't know. I still think Venus will be hospitable after Earth. That's what I was saying earlier with the whole teaching my kids stuff. I was like, I probably shouldn't teach them this though, because it's not true.
Well, I mean, Venus might be at some point. They think that Venus was potentially habitable fucking X amount of million years ago before, all the greenhouse gases, wrecked the place. Because I think the surface temperature is like the second hottest place in the solar system. Like,
well, so my theory is the sun's shrinking. So when the sun shrinks enough, that Venus like becomes habitable. Like, Earth will just be no more. Earth will be another Mars. Did you know that Pluto's not a planet anymore? That's really sad.
Yeah, but the thing was, it was big enough for your mom. So that, and have you noticed that like ever since they said, "Hey, Pluto's not a planet anymore," everything's been going to shit. Also,
off. They pissed Pluto off.
Yeah, Pluto. The god of hell isn't fucking cool enough anymore. Okay, guys. Okay.
Damn it. I really loved Pluto. Like I had like a third grade project and we had to write a report on our favorite planet. And Pluto was my favorite planet.
Why is Pluto your favorite planet?
I don't know. It's just so like lonely hanging out there in the outer freaking fringes. Like doesn't want to sit on the bleachers with the rest of the kids. I just like them.
Fair enough. Although I would argue that Saturn is God's favorite planet. He loved it so much he put a ring on it.
Yeah, I don't know. Planetary disaster. So what book are you reading now?
Well,
actually, what books do you plan to read?
Okay, so what is it? Next book on my list is called Sentinel by LD Nash. Other really fun Instagrammer if you're not following her. And then after that, there's a book of short stories called Fragments of America that one of my buddies has a short story in, so I'm gonna check that afterwards. And then I have a few more that I want to get into.
Have you ever?
I'm thinking that I'm gonna be like, hey, listen, give me book suggestions, guys.
Have you ever done like an analogy or anything like that, or whatever they call them?
What?
Analogy?
Chronology?
No, where you like contribute your short story to like your buddy just did.
Oh, so not for that, but I haven't really written too many short stories, and you've seen the length of my books. I don't normally fuck around with the short stuff.
Beast.
I did write a couple short stories for the school's newspaper at Penn State, and none of them ever made it into it. So either I can't write short stories or they don't know what the fuck they're dealing with.
Fascist. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, they did hire Jerry Sandusky for like 40 fucking years. So.
Right. Well, there you go. That's so funny. Like Penn State. Well, no, you're getting your. So what is it? What are you getting? It's a bachelor's in liberal.
Visual art studies. So it's kind of like graphic design, kind of like actual art, kind of like museum curation shit. So kind of like jack of all trades in art.
Yeah, gotcha.
Within the art sphere or whatever. And it really, dude, the fucking program pisses me the fuck off too, because it's like, all right, so you're an art major. This year you're gonna take one art class. It's like, well, if I'm an art major, shouldn't most of my classes be art classes? And then I took a fucking sculpting class, which ended up being you're gonna fuck with some clay for a week, and then you're gonna have wood shop the rest of the fucking semester and build a chair. It's like, okay, so I'm building a chair for a sculpting class. Got it.
I love wood shop. My first project, they were like, "You're gonna build a birdhouse." I was like, "I'm gonna build an Adirondack chair." So screw you.
Oh, dude, no. Like, I love working in the fucking thing. Like, I got a bunch of my own tools. I've been building shelves all week, but like, if I'm in a sculpting class, teach me how to fucking sculpt, dude.
Right. You need some ghost stuff up in there. Who's in? Man, it's dark out here. Hold on, I'll go inside. But what was I gonna? Oh yeah, no. So my bachelor's of English. That's why I went back to school. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a second degree. I want a bachelor's in English. I want to learn more about creative writing, but my school didn't have emphasis on creative writing, really. But all of my credits had transferred over, so I really didn't even get to take a writing class the entire time. Like all my military credits, and then. Yeah, so I was like, I literally spent my entire degree, my last like 5 classes, I just started, they're like, oh, linguistics. So I was like, I'm going to talk about linguistics between fiction, freaking dialogue. And they're like, that's not really what this class is about. I was like, I don't really care. I'm paying for it.
Yeah, right. And you didn't specify I couldn't,
Right.
which also on that fucking, I would say one of the key skills you can have if you're writing fiction is knowing how to write fucking dialogue. Because like, have you ever read something where it's like they're writing this conversation between people and it's like, okay, no one ever say that, no one talks like that, where the fuck is this person from, who the fuck wrote this?
I think I do it too though, because I put my own vernacular in there, and like,
Yeah.
so I'll be like, you know, and then people are like, people don't talk like that. I'm like, well, they do in my book. Like, I watch fictions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's one thing, you know, if you're writing fantasy or science fiction, but like if you're reading like a, I don't know, like a drama or actually, what the fuck do you call a drama book in book? Is it nonfiction or is it just fiction?
Not a thriller.
Romance?
No.
Memoir?
Maybe. I don't fucking know. Or like, you know, even like
realistic fiction. No, what the hell is it called? I know what you're talking about, and I can't think of the name now.
Yeah, or like even like, you know, contemporary horror or whatever. It's like
literary fiction. Sorry, that's
literary fiction. Sure, yeah. I guess I don't. You know, I feel like we should know this like off the top of our fucking heads.
We should be so professional, but that's what happens. This
yeah.
doesn't have anything to do with us. Now we're just like
you don't think
writing community.
Yeah, you don't think it'd be like it is, but it do.
Yeah, no.
No, like fucking that'll happen a lot in fucking movies too, where it's like, why? Like if you actually pay attention to like what people say in movies, it's like nobody fucking talks like that. Chill the fuck out.
Especially bad B movies.
Oh god, yeah, dude. I watched this one called it was either The Devil's Revenge or Revenge of the Devil, and it was about this dude whose family was cursed, and he had to go get this amulet or some shit from the devil, but he couldn't do it, and the devil killed all his friends, so he went to go get help from his dad, played by William Shatner, by the way. And him and his dad go into this fucking cave, and all these demons show up, and the demons were actually pretty cool looking, but William Shatner had this like I forget what the fuck you call it, but it's like a revolver that shoots 40 millimeter grenades. And he's like blasting these demons, and they're like 3 feet away from him and exploding. He's like, all right, then let's get to the next demon to get the amulet. Clunk. And then like a dude 3 feet away from him explodes. It's like, okay, first off, dude, the kill radius on that.
Yeah. Well, what is the rotation? I can't even remember that. It has to rotate so many times before it will detonate, right?
Yeah. Isn't it like 40 feet or 40 yards?
I remember I have stories from a few of my seniors talking about firing off 40 mics and hitting people in the chest and bouncing off.
Yeah. Dude, I was I think we were at Viper.
Yeah.
I think we were at Viper, and somebody accidentally shot one of the role players in the chest with the fucking orange or the fucking Cheeto round. Thing blew up. Dude came out looking like he got fucked by, you know, Chester Cheetah. It's like, dude, why? What? Like, dude got his ass chewed. It's fucking great.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. I had a I don't know, kind of like a work buddy who just got done being a coyote. It seems like their life kind of sucks somewhat because you're always in the field.
Yeah.
Better than being in the field in training.
There's not much worse than being in the field for training.
Yeah.
Especially like on shit where you go to, what was it, Firebase Gloria on Pendleton, but you show up like on a Friday night and then it didn't start till Tuesday morning for some fucking reason. So you're just camped by the back gate. You can see fucking Denny's.
Lots of white space training for like 3 days.
Yeah. So, dude, can we do this like at the chapel or the base theater or some shit? And then
go
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
What?
I was just listening.
Saying all that though, I still do want to go back after being at a Blue Side Command.
I told you were going to. So basically in Guam, he was like working in the ER, and he's like, so when I got there, you know, I was done with the military and then like got to Guam, and he was like, he's like, I don't think I can go with the Marines. Like, they're super rough. I was like, you're going to love it. Just trust me. You're going to love it. And
I never said that.
He gets, yeah. No, well, you're like, oh, they just don't have days off. They go to the field, blah, 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 and stuff like that. And he was used to working.
I said that because
yeah.
I didn't think it was.
So he gets with the Marines and he's like, I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. I was like, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. And the minute that he had to leave, because he was there for 7 years, I put on 10.
Well, I missed
3
it.
years.
I missed it the second I left and went to IDC school.
Yeah, basically.
So because I got a 1 year, I got a 1 year break. I had a 1 year break in between back-to-back terms.
Fletcher Carson on this.
And then yeah, it was like depressing being with the regular Navy because it's just.
So now he's like sad. He's like, I just kind of want to go back to the Marines. I miss them. I'm like, oh, you miss those. So cute.
my dad had a friend who didn't want to get drafted to go to Vietnam. So he's like, all right, so let me join one of the other branches because I don't want to go to Vietnam. So he joins the Navy because he's like, Navy's on boats. Boats don't go to Vietnam. And if they do, they hang out on the side. And the recruiter's like, hey, so you don't want to go to Vietnam. Got it. Let me tell you about this thing called a Navy corpsman. They hang out in hospitals with all the nurses. And he's like, sign me the fuck up. He got a Navy Cross because the only 2 guys that came back from Cambodia from his platoon was him and the dude he was dragging behind him. So I was like, hey, how'd join the Navy so you didn't have to go to Vietnam workout?
No, my favorite was Fletcher was like, when he joined the Navy, he's like, I never want to be on a ship. I just want to be a medic. And I was
I wanted to join the Marine Corps. My dad said no Marine Corps, no Army because it was, infantry, like 2005, 2006 when I was looking, and he's like looking at the death tolls, and he's like, how about Navy or Air Force? And I was like,
anyway, so, but when he goes in, he's like, I never want to be on a ship. I never want to be on a ship. So his first duty station's Guam. He's in the freaking ER there, serving the local populace, everything. And when we get back to the States, he's like, okay, I want to go with the Marines, so I don't have to ever be on a ship. And then the minute his first deployment was a MEU, and he was like, what the fuck?
Well, they switched it because we were supposed to have the Afghan deployment again because they were going to do back-to-back Afghans, but then they switched it with 1-1. And we weren't supposed to do a MEU. We were supposed to do another Afghan pump, but they switched it with 1-1 because I guess 1-1 hadn't been in a while.
Fair enough, I guess. Although I actually really liked ship life. Like, it was simple, and then like you didn't do much. Although I guess you're in the medical area, so I guess it'd be a little bit different from you. I just hung up my rack and watched movies all day.
That sometimes that part. Can be not, yeah, because they would task us to do, and then that first deployment, like they're like, you're gonna help Blue Side, and then like we're gonna integrate, and then on my second MEU, I was like,
show, so I'm gonna give it to him for a sec.
And then on my like, fuck that, I'm not doing that at all because I think I told you this. I was trying to bring Gonzo in to sick hall because he's one of my Marines in my platoon, and I bring him in, and they like got mad at me because I walked him right to the front of the sick hall screener line. I was like, yeah, we're checking him in. I'm going to take him back and I'm going to see him. And the Blue Side people like that blew their heads that I'm like, no, he's my Marine. I don't care where other people are placed. I have an open room and I'm going to my provider. They like fucking flipped out. They make us stand there watches. They like abused us. So on my second one, when I was in charge, I was like, yeah, we're not integrating. We'll see our year. Fuck you guys. Like, I'm not doing that at all. And it worked out better. Way, way better. There's less distension.
There's less what?
They said there was less like hatred because we hated the Blue Side people.
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you about the cigarettes?
Maybe. So
I found out. You remember when the ship ran out of all they had was like Skull Mint or Skull Berry and Marlboro Lights?
No, but I had my girlfriend sending me cigarettes.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people did. And then I remember seeing a kid sell a can of Grizzly Wintergreen for like $70 a can.
Yeah, weird how that works.
But so what I did is I went into remember, I think it was between Singapore and somewhere else, people said they wanted to quit smoking while they're on deployment. So they medical set up a little class and they dumped all their cigarettes in this tin and they kept it in medical as to say goodbye to them. And guess who found the tin when we ran out of all the good cigarettes?
I sold it right back to them.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
I was like, oh, look, I got all these. And then it was all the fucked up ones from Singapore where they got the outie feet and all the weird shit, dead fetuses on them.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I fucking love those. I kind of wish I like kept a few packs, just like
brutal
frames.
Yeah,
because like it'd be shit that like had nothing to do with smoking. It's like here's a picture of trench foot smoking kills.
I think you get your own podcast show.
No, I'm fine,
dude. Yeah, no, you're a good rambler. I think you'd have a good time with it.
Yes, and we can get him to sing karaoke. I told him about the karaoke night.
I didn't sing karaoke.
Oh yeah, you did.
Did you save the live stream so you can like post it later to embarrass him?
Doesn't save them like that.
Ah, that sucks. Well, fucking if you have an iPhone, you can screen record the whole thing, and that's like the same thing.
Yeah, right.
TikTok's cool. I still like TikTok.
No.
There's a whole book talk community. Like, actually, there was this girl that did a cosplay for one of my books, or for the No Cherry. Jesus Christ, I never wanted to say that, but
No cherry.
No, really?
No cherry.
See what I mean?
No tree.
No cherry.
We need Google Translator right
no
now.
No cherry.
All right. Anyway, so one of these girls did a cosplay for it, like, and so I guess Book Talk does a lot of cosplay and whatever for books. It's kind of neat. It's on TikTok. It's a Book Talk, like Bookstagram, but Book Talk.
Huh? Is that like I don't know how TikTok works. Is that like almost like a different section in it, or?
No. So it's just hashtags. People are using Instagram or whatever, so they use hashtags and they connect through the hashtags, and then yeah. I think I could see some really cool. Oh my god! I always wanted to ask this of you. Who's the green girl on the pool table that did your like?
Okay, so her name, she is a British comedian named Diane Spencer. I want to get her on this show at some point. I haven't approached her about it yet, but all of her stand-ups on fucking YouTube, and it is piss yourself hilarious. Like she's my favorite fucking comedian. And then like after I wrote. I think it was like right before my second book came out. Like I got on Twitter and I was like, I want to send Diane Spencer my books tag. And then like 20 minutes later, she's like, okay, check your DMs. And then I go to my DMs like this address. I'm like, that fucking worked. That fucking worked. No fucking way that fucking worked. And then I go over there and I'm like, hey, here's my stuff. By the way, love your comedy. Thanks. I'm nervous talking to fucking celebrities. And she's like, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not famous. I'm like, dude, you got a lot of fucking YouTube followers. I know you. Like she only has like a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 or two Instagram followers, but she's big on YouTube. So I was like, that's like the next best thing, right?
Oh, I found her.
But then like I was really fucking happy that like she liked my shit. I was like, oh, this is fucking great.
Speaking of celebrities liking your stuff, you do okay.
I found her.
Sorry, we're looking her up right now too. But you do know that the Tiger King is like a very gay Oklahoma. Gay.
Oh yeah, no, I watched it, and I highly doubt I'll get a response. But I still made the video, and people laughed at it. So
yeah, I'm like, I'm not sure if you'll read that. Like,
although, like, I don't even know if you can send books to prison. So, I mean,
here's the mic.
Yeah. Here's the
mic.
Oh, Mike.
He's here. He's watching.
Is he watching?
Yeah.
Oh, so my buddy who loves your books is watching.
Oh, hey, Mike. Hi, Mike.
Meetup happen so everybody can hang out.
Yeah, dude, we can fucking do that at some point. Fucking me and the wife are trying to work a con on you guys to where you guys let us stay at your house in Maine at some point so we can go stalk Stephen King.
No, okay, so Fletcher's one day we're gonna do this on the
okay, all right.
I can tell you the drama, but it is drama.
It's not.
I'm literally gonna write a book based just on this drama, but I'm just waiting for it to.
Oh, you're talking about the other stuff.
Yeah, but the people who live near Stephen King.
Yeah, but you can drive to Stephen King's house from my house in 45 minutes.
There you go.
Yeah, there's but I literally have this whole story mapped out for this whole family sequence on that side. And I'm so excited to write it, but I don't want to write it while anybody's still kicking.
No, you can still write it now. You just don't publish it. Or this work is a work of fiction. All characters and places and situations are products of the author's imagination. Boom.
Right.
And then you change their name from like
Get away with-
Ashley ASHLEY to Ashley ASHLEIGHE.
Speaking of which, how did you get away with writing the Purple Church and everything? Like,
Oh, because in real life that place is called the main attraction.
oh yeah, crap! I always just knew it as the Purple Church. I never even thought they had a different name.
Yeah. No, the reason they call it the Purple Church is because the building is purple and military gets in for free on Sunday, and they have they're closed now, by the way.
Yeah,
Um,
they're gone.
Oh,
They're gone. And there's an In-N-Out across the street.
the In-N-Out. No, the In-N-Out moved in when they were still there. Like,
I know.
and so we're like, what is this, like a battle between God and the devil?
Yes. No, but they had a bomb ass fucking breakfast buffet. So it's like I get in for free, I get some bomb ass food, and I get to stare some fucking tits. Yes, I'm going on Sunday morning. It's purple, it's church. There you go.
No, but I mean, like, Purple Church. I honestly, I know it's called the main attraction, but for some reason, like, I knew it was the Purple Church or knew it as the Purple Church. So, like, I don't know. I thought the sign, it's
You
like one
never
of those
knew
weird,
that?
it's like suggestive memory where you like have heard it so many times that you just pretend that that's the name.
Yeah. And then the way I figured I'd get away with the 101 Cafe is because there's like 50 101 cafes, and they're not the same franchise or the same owners. They're just on the 101 and they're cafes, so they can name themselves that.
Good question, actually. Is the 101 Cafe the one on the left side of the road after you're passing the Purple Church?
Are you going up or down?
Or is it the right side of the road, like way at the end?
It's
of
the one
Oceanside?
with the vintage place next to it.
Yeah. So if you're going south on the Pacific Highway, it's towards the ocean.
I know south, but
If you're going down, it's on the right.
okay. Never
Heather
mind.
is very blind.
Bitch, I know my directions. The problem here in Maryland is
She doesn't know where stuff is because she doesn't wear glasses when we drive.
the problem here is that we are literally on like a freaking island and there's trees all around and I can't see my mountains and I can't see my coastline, so I have no sense of direction. I feel like a bobblehead down here. It's awful.
But it has big Cafe 101 painted on the side of it, and you see it when you're driving down.
Yeah, but also the freaking like Tidewater Cafe or whatever 101.
Tidewater. Oh, so that's like a little bit down the street. That's by the movie theater, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I thought you were talking about, but no.
No.
Used to be a dirty movie theater, I found out.
Oh Jesus.
Really?
Yeah, so apparently, Oceanside
I tried to sit up.
Oceanside used to be Ocean Slime. It still is.
That's my superstar.
But I guess
there.
I talked to some people that because we had some civilians work. They started moving civilians to work in at the front desk at the clinics and stuff.
Yeah.
When the regimental aid stations, and they I was talking to them, and they'd lived like there for the whole time. They're like, yeah, Oceanside used to be really, really bad, like back in like the 80s, early 90s.
Dude, it was bad when I was there. Fucking there was a tracker who was dating someone who was friends with my buddy's wives. So like we'd go out with them, and fucking we're getting drunk at the fucking Haunted Head, and the dude fucking comes out, and the pirate bar. Yeah. And dude comes out, goes into the fucking alley by the liquor store to take a piss, and like he got mugged and he tried to fight him, so they like fucking slit his throat and like ran away. So like he came up like holding his fucking shit, and then it's like, oh hey, somebody needs to call 911 like yesterday, man.
Yeah, that's well,
and that was like 2009.
It is still kind of violent, but it's not as smutty in your face because
Oceanside is the same way that it was always was.
I'm talking about having like nudie or adult theaters and stuff like that. It's different.
Maybe not adult theaters, but like all the liquor stores double as porno shops.
That's true.
Yeah, dude.
Do people do that anymore?
I lived in Ocean Beach forever, so like Oceanside is nothing. Oceanside is like PC to Ocean Beach, so we're good.
Yeah. OB is a sunny place for shady people.
The town, like literally, their t-shirts. Everybody walks around with that same slogan.
We saw some weird guy who was zoinked out dancing, and you know how like the dude in Fish wears a dress, and
dude, you have
like
no class. You have no class. You don't appreciate tasteful artistic expression.
It was a guy zoinked out of his mind dancing in a dress on the side of the road.
He was having fun. He was having a good time. Were you happy?
It was funny to watch.
I'm not.
But what was I gonna say? I can't.
Sorry, I'm gonna take Tripp outside and smoke again.
Yeah, we were talking about Ocean Slime. Dude, I fucking love that town though. Like,
oh, I do too. I'm a California girl, so I miss my whole home place.
Yeah. Although you're from like inland though, right?
No, so I was actually born in San Diego. I was actually born on Pendleton, but
Well,
the longest I've ever
life has a funny way of coming full circle then.
right? No, the longest I've ever lived anywhere was San Diego for 7 years total, and then Bridgeport area for like almost 6 years. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That Bridgeport area is real fucking nice though.
It's nice if you want to survive the apocalypse.
Yeah, I know. hint, nudge, nudge, book stuff.
I actually thought that was kind of cool because, like, your story, like, that's where they're headed and stuff like that. And, like, my story, I'm like, yep, that's where they're going. They're going right back up there.
Yeah. Although, what is it? So I haven't read the third Project Dandelion, but at the end of that one, though, they end up in 29 Palms, which is like, oh, hey, cool. We got out of the bunker and we're in 29 Palms. All right.
Well, I wanted to set up a base that I felt would be untouchable because, like, you know, like Miramar and stuff like that, they would have attacked it for the planes. They would have attacked Pendleton for the freaking infantry units down there. 29 Palms is really, like, even though it's a huge base, is, I mean, I guess there's, basically, I think that most people would, like, because I mapped it all out. Oh, God, my Google hates me, by the way. They think I'm a fucking terrorist. But, so I mapped it all out. And I was like, you know, like, strategically, 29 Palms doesn't make sense to attack. So that could be a good headquarters, like, for, like, you know, like the new or the old military. Basically, what I did was I threw the freaking government off completely. And I just made the military stand up and be like, and it was, like, run by, like, all the branches, base Marine unit and stuff like that, that kind of overthrew and was going to take over the government and take over the new world and stuff like that, fight against this new government. Because I'm so sick of hearing about, like, military, like, just being black sheep and they just follow, like, the new order and stuff like that, like, or whatever, you know, like most post-apocalyptic books.
Yeah. Yeah, where they're always the bad guys.
Yeah, and I'm like, they wouldn't have been, though. Like, if you know, like, any real military, like, they'd have been like, no, we have the guns, we have the strength, and you guys are fucking crazy. No way. And especially on American soil. So,
yeah.
I don't know. So, like I said, I tried to strategically plan, like, what they would do to, like, overtake or to, like, set up a new world or to fight off the government.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other thing, though, about 29 Palms, though, which I don't know if you figured this out in your research or not, but I want to say like a quarter or a third of all munitions west of Texas are in 29 Palms at their ammo supply depot. So it's like land-wise, yeah, like just that position, no fucking value whatsoever out in the middle of the desert. On the other hand, if you want to be able to shoot, maybe take that first. If you can, because everyone there is going to be fucking armed to the fucking teeth.
Well, that's why. So I don't know if you know anything about Hawthorne, Nevada.
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about this.
There's a couple places you don't even know about that we used to drive through one.
So Hawthorne. No, I'm talking about Hawthorne, Nevada. So Hawthorne, Nevada is a army depot, super undermanned. Which, by the way, we're probably going to get the government coming in if I sit here and talk about this, but it's not a big deal.
Well, I mean, you know, there's also, what is it, Camp Navajo in Arizona, and then there's a lot of fucking missiles on the north end of Pendleton. There's a small Navy base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the Fallbrook area or whatever. But anyway, so Hawthorne has got like miles and miles and miles of underground bunkers, and like the whole freaking topography of like the desert landscape is like these hills, and everyone's like, where are these hills here? I'm like, they're all bunkers. Like, so if you look like behind and stuff like that, but if you're flying over, it just looks like a like bump or whatever. But if you've lived there and driven through it a million times, you can see it.
Yeah.
But so we have this whole theory that they've got every freaking missile munition since like World War II. In fact, actually, I'd argue that they have been storing every munition since like World War II there. So they've got like mustard gas. They've got like, I don't know. I embellished a little bit. I was like, they got nukes there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like that's not too hard to believe though, because there's an armory in Fort Bragg that has at least one of every model weapon that's been built after, I think, 1820 in this armory. Like all of them. Like I'm sure they have ammo for it somewhere, but most of them they probably wouldn't, because like when I say every, it's like old fucking muzzle loaders, like old fucking, you know, like the old rifles where like you put the round in the back of it and it's pretty much like a little cannon. Like all like the obscure fucking like Malaysian fucking like homemade fucking machine guns and shit.
Why do they even keep that shit?
Why wouldn't you?
Um,
Like if you have a military as big and as complex as ours, like they have everything.
yeah, but basically what you're saying is the U.S. government is a bunch of hoarders.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen the Department of Defense's budget? Of course they have all that shit.
Taxpayer dollars.
Ayo.
No, I thought it was fun. And then I kind of wanted to go more into Barstow because Barstow actually does a lot of the rations, like the MREs and stuff like that. Like, so I was like, dude, if they cut off an MRE supply, like they cut off like food groups, you know, I had so much more I could have gone into, but I had to like stick to a storyline.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that writing? Like you want to like write so much more about the world, but you realize that like you have to stick to the storyline with it. Like, and it becomes...
yeah, but I would like to think that I get away with that in conversation.
I try to.
Yeah, so like, you know, hey, characters don't have to go to this place, but like one of them's bullshitting about it, and like most of my stuff's dialogue anyway.
Mine too.
So yeah, no, but like this isn't giving away too much, but the thing I'm writing now, they find those like what do they call them, ammunition igloos, the bunkers, and they're like, oh hey, what's in these? Let's crack them open. And they're like, oh hey, cool, this is full of MREs. So they open up the MREs and they're like, oh, these things expired like 50 fucking years ago.
Oh, they're so good.
So it's like we have like a bunch of bags of mold, Captain. Can we God damn it.
No, they still be good. They're still all right. 50 years, I think you can do it.
I don't know. Have you ever seen those YouTube videos where they open like sea rations from World War II and like try to eat them?
No,
It's bad. It's bad because like they're like trying to like man through it, and it's like I'm puking just watching it. It's like, oh god, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the oldest MRE every 10 years? 10 years old.
Yeah.
That was that video that we posted. Fletcher was like, I dare you to do this. I was like, oh,
It wasn't that old. But that's tough.
I just said 10 years.
You said 10, 20.
This guy, I love him.
Have you ever seen a movie called The Great Santini?
Yes.
Remember that part of the beginning where they're like at the ball or like something like that, and like a dude has like a can of cream of mushroom like in his shirt, and he goes up and he pretends to puke and like kicks the can, and like two other dudes come up with spoons and start eating it, and everyone all starts vomiting because they think the guys just eating puke off the ground with spoons.
My favorite, because I watched him when I was a kid. My dad was military, you know, like retired. So like I'd lay on his arm and be like, Dad, I'm in love. I'm in love with a black man.
Wait, was that Great Santini or Officer and a Gentleman?
No, it's Grace Anthony.
Okay, all right.
She's trying to get his attention because he doesn't care, his kids or whatever. He's like, Dad, I'm in love. I'm in love with a black man. I'm like, oh my God. Dude, these movies are fucking racist as fuck.
Yeah, but they were made in the 70s when it was like kind of expected, I guess.
People suck.
People didn't start getting woke until like the late 80s, early 90s, and then even then it was slow.
Should have been woke in like the 60s.
There was like 5 people that were woke in the 60s, and the National Guard shot all of them at Kent State.
Those fucking people are murderers. Good for you. Yeah, they're great. I can't even. I don't know. I feel like it's funny because I was talking to Fletcher today. I was like, Tripp reads like totally different books than I do because your books are like super. I don't know. Like I'm like I've never even read Dracula. Like I read like a lot of like Victorian era romance or like historical. Like I love Russian lit and stuff like that. Early Russian lit and early American, like Depression era American is like my favorite. Like John Steinbeck and everything. Like I'm super. I don't know. And it's funny because I'm like I write YA pop culture. But I read those too sometimes, but they're quick reads. Like I read them in like an hour and then whatever. Yeah. But so like when you were talking about bad books, it's like, man, it's gonna be hard because it's like, yeah, War and Peace was a bad book, but I mean I read it and it's not, and everybody else thinks it's bad. I don't know.
Well, the problem with War and Peace is whether or not you liked it. It was 14,000 times longer than the British Encyclopedia. And it's like, oh, hey, I'm going to go read War and Peace. It's like, all right, well, I'll see you in 6 years when you're fucking done. Have fun with Clausewitz after that.
Not even like I read it in 10th grade. Like I only read it during my like study periods because I'm a super overachiever. But anyway, so I read it like 45-minute sessions, but it took me the entire 10th grade year to read.
Yeah, it's a long ass book.
Awful. But I love Anna Karenina. I just feel like Karenina?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Not neither.
I know what you're talking about, though.
No, that's a good book. I read that in like freaking a couple of weeks, but like War and Peace killed me.
Yeah, no, but like, what is it? Dracula and Frankenstein all read it. I thought they were fucking shit. The stories were like okay, I guess, but they were both the thing where it's told from the you're not anybody's point of view. You're just reading letters and journal entries, and it changes tone and diction each fucking chapter. It's like
Oh,
the hop. That and the story sucked. So like Dracula, like the first, I want to say 100 pages or so were like fucking horror, literary genius. And then like the next 300 pages were like, oh, Dracula's in England. All these people know what Dracula is and they're going to kill him. And they also know all his weaknesses. So they're going to stay up all day drinking tea, talking about Dracula and go hunt him at night.
I feel like their tea must have been laced because there's no way.
Yeah. And then at the end of the book, you know, they finally go bless his dirt or whatever. So he has to go home. And then he's got his army of gypsies, you know, taking it back to fucking Transylvania or whatever. And then something happens. He falls out of the cart and like the sun's about to go down. He's about to get all his powers. And then dude from Texas shoots him in the chest and he dies.
Okay. This is classic, like Bram Stoker's Dracula we're talking about?
Yeah, no, this is the actual book, Dracula by Bram Stoker, yes.
Oh, I did not know all of this.
Yeah, there's no stake in the art. Guy from Texas shoots him.
Huh. All right. Well, dude, Texas has some people. Where was Bram Stoker from?
Ireland.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So apparently that stereotype is not new.
Ugh. Okay. So that was Dracula, and then Frankenstein is Mary S. Shelby, right? And then she... Was it a bad book? I feel like...
I didn't like the way it was told, but also... So pretty much what happens is Victor Dracula... I don't remember if he's from Switzerland or if he was just in Switzerland, but he's going to college in Geneva, and his mom died giving birth to him, and he feels really guilty about it. He wants to make people immortal, so he goes and steals all these fucking body parts. Like he didn't I don't know how you could get those ethically anyway, but you know, steals all these fucking body parts, stitches them together, and then like it works. He's like, oh yeah, it works. Also, I made a monster. No, let me just throw it in the trash. And then he is having this fucking existential crisis because, you know, he figured out, you know, immortality, and he goes home, and depending on which version you read, if you read the original version, he goes home and marries his sister. If you read one of the later versions, he goes home and marries his stepsister. And then Dracula's monster, or the creature, or whatever you want to call it, this thing, like, kind
of... Dude, but go on.
Yeah. So, you know, like Frankenstein's monster, at first he does, you know, some like crazy shit, but he's trying to figure out like why the fuck he's alive, who is he, like what's going on. And you know, in the movies they always portray him as, you know, this big dumb, you know, like hands out on a wood, whatever. But like this dude's like quoting Shakespeare, fucking like very articulate, smarter than fuck. But he tracks down Victor Frankenstein, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, look, you made me. You're my creator. I'm lonely. No one will fucking accept me because I look like a fucking freak. Yeah. Make me a wife, so I have somebody to be companion-ish with. And then Victor Frankenstein's like, no, I'm gonna completely refuse to take any responsibility for my fucking actions. And then I'm gonna go marry my sister now. I know I've been banging her, but I'm gonna go marry my sister now. So on their wedding night, the monster shows up, kills his sister, and then leaves. So Victor's like, oh well, shit. The love of my life is dead. Who's also my sister because I'm from Geneva, West Virginia, not Geneva, Switzerland.
Okay.
And he turns her into he reanimates her, right? So then the monster shows back up and he's like, hey, look, it's my bride. Thanks for making it for me, bro. And then Victor's like, hey, that's not your bride. That's my bride. We're legally married. And she's back from the dead. Fuck all this death to his part shit. And then Elizabeth, the sister or stepsister, is like, fuck this shit, sets herself on fire and kills herself. And then fucking everybody kind of fucks off for a bit. And then it comes to a little bit later, and it switches, points of view completely, and it's this like ship captain up in the fucking Arctic, and he finds Victor Frankenstein, excuse me, and he's up in the Arctic trying to hunt down the monster, because he's finally taking responsibility for his action by killing it. Something a lot of creators do, by the way. If you don't catch my drift, I'm talking about God.
That's true.
yeah. I don't remember how Victor dies, but Victor dies at the end. I don't remember if the monster kills him or if he like dies from like hypothermia, and then like the monster just like disappears into the ice.
Really?
The end.
And becomes the Yeti.
Yeah, or some shit like that. But
wow.
yeah, like I'm not a big fan of fucking Victorian era stuff anyway. Some of the stories can be good, but it's either the story's good and it's written in a way that I just can't fucking get down with, or the story sucks and they wrote it. Okay, all right, what's up? Like Jane Eyre. Fucking, I thought the way it was written was all right, but hear me out. I'll just skip to the end. She marries this dude that drove his previous wife, criminally insane, and then locked her to a fucking radiator in the attic, and Jane does not see this as a fucking red flag.
Technically, okay, I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from with this. But for the record, so Jane Eyre was about so I don't want to talk feminism here because I literally hate when people are like, oh, this is the feminist novel of the century, blah, blah, blah. And it's not at all. She was literally like, okay, the only job I can get is a governess. And let me talk about this dream job that I probably won't be able to get because my dad's got money and I'll never do that. I'm just to get married. So she dreamed up this idea of a governess. And how is she going to be able to marry the guy and live happily ever after? She's just a writer. She's just trying to like deal with her circumstances and figure out like how she can like move better than this. So the only way that could happen is if the guy's wife dies. Well, dying doesn't sound that freaking like cool. Like, like, oh, he's a widower. Now let's give it some intrigue, so she's like makes her batshit crazy. Like, all right. So the wife's batshit crazy and she's chained upstairs and the guy's like, I love her. Not that I loved her. I feel a sense of responsibility for her. I don't think he drove her crazy. I think she had like some serious mental shit anyway. So he chained her upstairs, like to still take care of her, but she was a danger to everybody, a danger to their son, a danger to, so he protected her in the attic.
So I have a question for you. If anything were to happen to your marriage, or hypothetically in a different life, if you met this dude and you thought he was cool, but then you found out that he kept his wife, that he's still married to, by the way, chained to a fucking radiator 24/7.
Wait, are we talking, what year are we talking here though? Because
any year ever.
No, in the 1800s, if you were certifiably crazy, you went to an insane asylum where they literally like killed you. So he was like, ish, I could send her there and they're going to kill her, or I can chain her to my attic.
Yeah, or I could chain her to the radiator. Red flag, motherfucker. Like big Chinese communist red fucking flag.
It was supposed to be romantic with a twist.
Yeah. No, how about the twist is like, what was the other one? Like Wuthering Heights? That was like, the twist isn't the ghost. Got it. Cool.
No, Wuthering Heights was by Emily Bronte, the sister. And that one, I don't know. So I love Wuthering Heights. I love it because it's super poetic, very dark. And that, honestly, when we want to talk about books that are considered bad books, I would honestly argue that Wuthering Heights is a bad book in the sense that it doesn't really make sense unless you just kind of like stop thinking about it and just read it. Like,
yeah, but it's written well.
It is. It's written well, but it's like you can't think about the plot. You can't think about anything. You just have to read it for what it is. So when you get through Wuthering Heights, like it's literally the Harlequin romance of like the 1800s. Like this bad boy Heathcliff does these awful things, and then she like somehow tames the beast. I don't know. It really is. It's Harlequin romance, like with a very virgin aspect, I guess. They don't ever do anything, but you know what I mean? Like it's so, I don't know. They're two different sisters. They're two different sisters doing two different things. And Emily did Wuthering Heights. So Charlotte Bronte or whatever, she was very like, I want to shock and awe. And then Emily was like, I'm going to write this poetic love story for the ages, but it kind of was trashy. So I don't know.
So welcome to the Victorian era, guys.
All right. I can go on about this all night. We'll jump back to modern fiction. What are we doing here?
Oh, so modern fiction? Fuck. Oh, I hated The Martian.
Did you? I did.
I haven't seen the movie, like the book though. It's like, all right, the dude's stuck on Mars and he's building potatoes.
I loved it, but I like that slow burn, like where you're sitting there, like. I guess so. My first book or whatever is considered prepper fiction. I don't know. I read book 2, and I guess book 3 goes more into it. Book 2 was kind of like the action stuff. Whatever. Book 3 was more prepper fiction, but I like the whole like learning how to build from like the environment or whatever is, so like when he's starting to cultivate Mars, I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool, but but I also give so much leeway to books. Like I'm like, all right, as long as it's okay-ish written, like I'll read it. Like, I'll leave a good review.
Well, I mean, like yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. Like, have you read Cindy Mann's The Darkwood?
Mm-mm.
Fucking 10 out of 5 on my scale. There's like I guess a heavy romance element, but it's not a romance. It's a fantasy novel. They're on something happened to the planet that they're on, and they're always like it stopped rotating, or like I guess not stopped rotating, but got caught in like the perfect rotation to where like one side's always sun, one side's always night or whatever. And there's this chick Stella, and she's out living in the woods out in the cabin by herself. And then there's all these like I don't want to give away too much, but pretty much like there's these bells they'll ring to like set an alarm that there's like monsters out in the woods, and then these monsters will show up and just like fucking tear people to shreds. But it only happens like every once in a while, and then like while you're reading it, you're like, okay, well, I mean, I guess this kind of makes sense, and like you don't really know what the fuck's going on, and then like at the last like quarter of the book, you're like, why'd you do that? Why did you do that? Oh, okay, all right, I see what you're doing here. Let's get down on this, but. What really kept me into it, though, like in the beginning parts where you're like, what's happening, was Sydney's writing is fucking poetic, and she could have a book that's plot was fucking hot garbage, and I would fucking read it anyway just because her diction was just like, it made me feel bad because of how good it was, I was like, oh, goddamn, why am I even writing?
Yeah. No, I love books like that, like where you're like super like, I feel like, I know it sounds awful, and like we were just talking earlier about the whole like indie publishing versus regular publishing, but I'm like, I read so many ARCs and stuff like that, like constantly, like I get a lot of them lately, so I try to like have a cutoff date at the month, like I won't take any other ARCs because I read fast, so I'm like, all right, so I'll 2 days to read, like a 100 or 90,000 word or 60,000 word novel or whatever. So like by the end of the month, and then I try to do the next 2 weeks of like reading, like I'm like, I want to read the classics. I want to read like really good freaking reviewed books because I want to compete with them. I don't want to, like it does sound awful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the very nature of being a human being in any type of competitive environment is being awful. You just have to figure out a way to be awful while it looks like you're not.
Well, I don't know, but the thing is, like, I don't want to say that like indies are bad or anything like that, because I like see so many like hidden freaking gems like in there, and you're like, dude, like this person deserves to be like world famous. They'll never make it that big because obviously first you have to have the big.
You published indie, you filthy fucking plebe. Get away from us, you fucking peasant.
Right. Yep. Well, and even to succeed in the indie business, you have to have like the
it's
business.
for the people, damn it. That sounds pretty much like a communist would say. Oh, god damn it.
Nah, I don't know. But yeah, no. Some of them like, but then again, some of the published shit that I read, I'm like, dude, this is awful. Like, how the hell did this make something, like somebody rich and famous? Like,
oh, dude, yeah. No, what is it? I read Hank Green's An Absolutely Wonderful Thing, and that was an absolutely fucking unremarkable book. And I don't think it would have gotten anywhere if that dude like wasn't YouTube fucking god level.
Really?
Yeah.
I read remember we read different stuff, but I read like Kiss of Deception or whatever. It's like the Remnants Chronicles. I don't know, it's some
I've heard of it.
YA thing right now. So I was like, all right, I read that. And I'm reading it and I'm like, she's got great description. She's got like some of these scenes are really beautiful. And but I was like, there's no plot to this fucking book. There's no plot to it. Like, you get to the end and I'm like, nothing was solved. Nothing happened. Like, maybe she figured out one guy was one guy. Like, it doesn't make sense. And people are fucking, like, this is a nationally acclaimed, like, fucking super promoted book everybody's heard of. And I'm like, but there's no plot. Like, there has to be some kind of freaking resolution. If there's no resolution, I don't know. And it was like 400 pages of no resolution. Like, that's a lot of pages. I can resolve a fucking thing in like 200 pages. Like,
Yeah, no, like what was the other one? Like Man in the High Castle. That book fucking sucked. That book sucked so fucking bad. I was like, oh, I read this book. Let me go find this guy. Cool, I found him. Let me get your autograph. Also, my boyfriend may or may not be a spy. The end.
okay, yeah, never read the book. We watched probably the first 5 episodes. I was like, this is kind of cool. It's interesting. I want to see it through. And Flush was like, no, it's garbage. I don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah, I'm on like episode 5 right now. I'll let you know how it goes if I keep it up. But speaking of trash books and Nazis, there's this book called The Iron Dream. Let me tell you about this.
Hold on. Yeah, I feel like I've heard about this, but go on.
So it's not really told well. It's not written well, but like the plot alone is enough to make you go like, what the fuck is going on? So imagine this. It's the early 1920s. Okay. World War I is over. There's a disenfranchised, very angry Austrian painter who army didn't work out for. No one buys his art. So he decides to move to San Francisco and join a biker gang. Okay. And then while Mr. Adolf Hitler is in this biker gang in San Francisco, he decides that this doo-wop shit is bullshit and invents heavy metal. And then after him and bands like, Black Sabbath and Judas Priest, fucking end up, rocking the shit and he retires, he ends up being a science fiction author in which, he writes out what the world should be like.
Okay.
It's a hot garbage book, but like it's fucking great hot garbage because you're like, biker gangs? Really? Hitler's in a biker gang playing fucking heavy metal and writing sci-fi. Fuck it, whatever, dude. I'm in.
That actually sounds super cool. I can't. Is the writing bad?
The writing is meh at best. Yeah. But it's funny because the cover of it like is what sold it to me because it's big red background, big giant glowing golden swastika, which he like his band's symbol is a swastika, so like that's what it's for. Also, he got the idea for the swastika from his biker gang, who they had swastikas as their biker gang, and so the cover of the book is this big glowing golden swastika and Adolf Hitler on a fucking Harley riding out of the sunset like into the fucking thing. And it's like I picked it up, I'm like, there's no way this is a fucking real book.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, all right, this one of Hugo. All right.
No, for real?
For real.
Oh my God. This should not okay. Well, like I said, I try not to judge books too harshly because everybody's got their own mind. That guy's mind is somewhere in the fucking like 1950 and the fuck that 1920. I don't even know.
I don't know. I think it was written in the 70s or 80s, but
still. Kind of mushroom trip. Got it. We're good.
Yeah.
All right, makes sense now. Yeah, I don't know. There's.
So it's like tiny little mustache and then and it gotta defeat a Sieg Heil. It's like, God damn it. You wrote this down. You made the conscious decision to publish this shit. Okay, all right, cool.
All right, well, let's just move on. That was traditionally published, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 1970. Do you guys see, if anybody's listening, do you see what these corporations allow? Let's wait. Just allow artists to do their own thing. Actually, somebody was saying something earlier, but they were basically saying that like in 10 years, publishing houses are going to be like freaking obsolete.
Yeah, because the only thing that needs for that to happen is for Amazon to get a worthy competitor in the self-publishing thing.
Barnes & Noble was trying. And because Barnes & Noble has their whole POD platform too now.
Yeah.
And I guess, well, Ingram kind of goes to everyone. Yeah, screw it. We don't need the corporations dictating what like we people read or not.
No, and like by the
Obviously produce garbage books. We've seen their track record.
yeah, no, I think at the end of the day, pretty much all it's going to be is everybody that's I guess traditionally published anymore is going to be people that are writing books about like history or science books or like extremely high end fucking posh bullshit that like no real people fucking read.
Right? College textbooks. You guys can have the college textbooks. None of us indies want them.
Dude, that shit pisses me the fuck off too. Because like, oh hey, cool, new semester. Let me go buy some books. Like, hey, this book's $300. I'm like, hey, listen, I used to work in a print shop. That costs 50 fucking cents. Go fuck yourself. I'm gonna pirate this off the internet. Have fun, kids.
Right? No, I'm awful about that too. Like, actually, I'm so cheap. So any of my degrees, like I've literally paid nothing for at all. And I can get my books for free. I get scholarships. I'm like super, super crafty with like finding ways to like, make this work. But then like Fletcher, even when he went to school, he was like, hey, my book's like $150. I was like, bullshit, it is. Watch this. Like, so I could find like the cheapest back room fucking like shady, like eBay deal you can imagine. And I'm like, all right, my book, you're fine.
Yeah, that and was that thriftbooks.com is really good for that too.
Oh yeah, that is good.
Like
But I take all my $10 eBay books and then we resell them for like they're making money. We're fine.
Fucking, I've taken up to like ripping the pages out and like painting on them, and people seem to like that. So
I did. I was like,
I actually like those a lot.
Oh, well, glad you do. Thank you.
Fan.
I didn't even see he was there.
He's just sitting here hanging out. He really wants to be on.
Zap.
What? Paying attention.
I
was paying attention, but I wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably gonna have to call this a night soon because I do have babies and I have to get up.
All right. Well, you have fun with that. Thank you very much for being on. It was good talking to you. Tell people where we can find your stuff.
Oh, wait, hold on. My elevator pitches that I'm horrible with. Hold on.
Yeah.
No. All right, just jump onto heatherkcarson.com and then you can find all my crap on there. Crap. Not crap, it's good. It's good stuff. It's legit. We like it.
Yeah, when people are like that, oh yeah, you can find my shit here. It's like, yeah, but it's good shit. Like after like a really greasy burrito, and it's like, you ever have diarrhea, but it doesn't hurt when it's coming out? It's so fucking satisfying.
Dude, it's good. Honestly, like the new one, I'm like super stoked about because it's so like different than anything anybody's ever read. Like everyone's like, pick 2 books that it's like. I'm like, it's not like anything else like out there. Like, so it's kind of neat, like to be able to create something like that. This is what happens when you have crazy ass dreams. Like you just come up with random stuff. But so the haunting dystopian tale of Jesus Christ.
No Jerry.
That one. Anyway, just came out May 6th, and so yeah. Just read that one. Project Alien's good too, but you have to be like super YA for that one, like teeny bopper YA. But it's actually pretty good. I've had adults, like 6-year-old adults that like it. I don't know. I'm really bad at elevator pitches. Anyway, Instagram, Facebook, and online. And really, I'm only here for Tripp because Tripp's awesome. And you should follow his stuff.
All right. Well, thank you again for being on, and y'all have a good night. Adios.
Bye.
Bye.